Whoa, I think I'm recording. I haven't used it for a while. Sorry. Kind of a nicer day. Anyway, way behind though. Asymmetry, I guess, will be sort of the subject. I don't know, tackle it in a couple of different ways, I suppose. But just this idea that profit, gain, is fundamentally different from loss. They're just very different things. They're just not reciprocal of each other. Losing's very bad. Very, very bad. And gaining is nice, but it's not necessary. It's not vital. It's not as important. So I guess you could look at it in maybe the lottery metaphor. So if you take $1 from everybody and you give all the money to one or two people and make them really comfortable, that's nice, and it's not too painful, just a little bit of, taken from us all, a little bit of tiny bit of pain, and then you make two people really, really comfortable and happy. So that sort of says, okay, it sort of makes sense. It doesn't seem like it has to be done, but it seems like it's a sensible thing to do. But the inverse doesn't seem sensible at all. Where you would sacrifice, give away a little bit of inconvenience each, just a tiny little bit, and then dump it all on two people. Just subject them to horrid torture. Now, that doesn't seem sensible at all. That doesn't seem like at all profitable. I think that just illustrates the nature of the difference between this pain and gain thing, between profit and loss, and understanding that when we're playing the life game, it is a sense of a kind of a lottery like this, where the substance of the pain will be dumped on the thing called the unfortunate, and for this idea that there will be this other percentage of people that will live this happy life where somehow they will avoid the horrors. But even that seems like a lie, because we can't even construct a life where you're rendered immunity usually. I mean, there is a theoretical possibility that you live fairly unblighted by substantial sickness or ill health or damage, and then you're wiped out instantaneously in a fiery crash of some kind. And so then you could call that a rather free life, inexpensive. But that's not practical, and I don't know if it's a life worth living, actually. But anyway, that's a whole nother. That's really the whole crux of it, though, right? Is this? How do we make our evaluations, and what decides the reasonableness of our opinions, let's call them, regarding profit and loss and risk equations. I certainly, personally, I've used this metaphor before, but I'll use it again. If I could sacrifice the gains and just have toast, give up all the desserts, give up all the extras, the something like this right now. I don't feel great. I don't feel bad. Just kind of mediocre-y, kind of just get through it and do it. Kind of nothing day. I mean, this will be a day where, it's not going to be horrible, hopefully, but it won't be great either. So I could live that. In exchange, I give up extra. I give up satisfaction of some kind, some sort of victory in the day, and that spares some person or child or whatever sympathetic character brutality and harshness and suffering. It's just so easy to do that in my head, to say, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I don't need the dessert. I need to be unencumbered by misery. That's my primary focus. I need the meal. I don't need the dessert. And so when we talk about this asymmetry thing, that's sort of what you got to understand. There's just a difference between not having the meal and having the dessert. And you're not going to be able to make the argument, that the loss of the dessert, in my opinion, you're not going to be able to make the argument rationally, that losing the dessert would not be worth, losing the lack of meal, the state of lack of meal. So, back to the asymmetry, the idea is that in not perpetuating life, we sacrifice the glory, of our fantastic redundancy of, redoing this same old drama, doing the play like Cats, was on Broadway forever and everybody just got so fucking sick of it. And it's like that. We just keep doing the same play over and over. You will be essentially some Shakespearean character of some sort. Maybe different characters throughout your life. You might start off as Romeo and end up as Hermione. Just made her up. But whatever. But we're just playing out a drama that's been played out, hundreds of millions, if not billions of times. How was I going with this? I already started critiquing, the value of what we're giving up. So we have this perception of the need for the play to go on. Like we're the author of Cats or something, and we just can't stand the idea that it's not going to be on Broadway anymore. And even though we can't really rationally defend it, we'll just defend it. And because we have a notion in our head that it needs to exist. But anyway, so we're giving up the triumphs, the glorious triumphs. And we're also giving up the horrid, awful, terrible defeats. The Fukushima woman who watches her 5-year-old daughter wash out of her hand, just wash away. We're saying, let's not do that again. Let's not do all the little murders that take place every single day to the dignity and comfort of sentient beings. And seems a perfectly rational statement to make, that the need for the play to go on doesn't overwhelm the need, the sensibility of gaining immunity to the horror. Now, you want to argue it, okay, we can argue it. It just seems the logic is logical to me. It's in my face. I can't avoid it. Wherever I look, it says, yeah, that's just so logical. So I have a little problem figuring out why I should have to say more. Why don't you see it that clearly? I mean, if you analyze your psychology, analyze what you're defending, how is it distinctly different from, I've used this metaphor, but I'll use it again, from Martian civilization or Venetian civilization or any other manifestation of this replicating molecule that invokes sentience? Would you really be that upset if one of the alien creatures in Star Wars was erased from the movie? They didn't exist. Would it really hurt you substantively? Would it be lamentable in some real and deep way? I don't think so. And you should be able or capable of recognizing that any attachment you have to the existence of this primate, this species of primate, is made out of conditioning and subjective crap. That is more a function of your emotions than any rational perception of value. And that when you really think about it, immunity to harm is a bargain, a huge bargain at the trivial price of not watching the Yankees win their 400th World Series. You know, wow, we won't accomplish that. Shucks. You know, so for a shucks event, shucks. Yeah, I've just disposed of all harm and suffering. You know, come on. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. Let's grab it. You know, it's got a shelf life. That's the other part of this. I guess it needs to be another video. But yeah, there's a little bit of urgency. We don't have much time before we turn the place into a madhouse. I mean, it's already a crazy house, but I mean really, really crazy. And we will do it. It'll make Planet of the Apes look like picnicking. It'll make Mad Max look like, skipping through the tulips and such. So yeah, we got to get people to get rational really, really fast. I don't have time to spend decades or centuries whispering in your ears about the danger you're promoting, you're protecting from rational disposal. That's pretty much what you're doing. You're jumping in front of the exterminator to save, the most diseased cockroach on earth. It's just so not sensible. And I think if you look inside your brain, there'll be some indication that maybe your psychology is owning you on this subject. Maybe your emotions are controlling your obnoxious reaction to the idea that the living biology, the uncontrolled replication, shouldn't keep uncontrollably replicating. You've just got to grow out of this idea that this infestation is your team. It's not on your side. It's not on the side of the intelligent. It's not on the side of the empathetic. It's not on the side of anything graceful or truly dignified. It's just on the side of the craziest of insane, bloodthirsty warrior. Only a lunatic, a psychotic, bloodthirsty, violent, crazed, murderous monster could call this their team. Really. No offense, but really, that's the score. That's the makeup. That's the geography of reality. So, summing up, there's a difference between a prevented harm and a lost profit. They're not balancing equals. Harm has much more meaning, gravity. It's got a higher atomic number. Its causticness is millionfold more energetic, than all these delusions of accomplishment and grandeur and ego gratification, these cupcake moments in life. I mean, another metaphor might be weddings. I mean, can anybody logically make sense of it? I mean, it's clearly some sort of keep up with the Joneses ego thing, and here you are wasting a preposterous amount of money on a silly, stupid, one-day event when it could rain. Any kind of crap can happen, just ruin the day. You're totally vulnerable to disaster for a day, not even a day, a few hours of a day, and just a gigantic pile of money wasted on cosmetic, superficial, aesthetic crap that could so easily be just made up in perception. It's just so overtly value deprivated, rational value just lost in nonsense. I mean, it'd be so much more sensible to provide for the welfare of the couple in some more structural manner. But maybe it's just another one of these bad habits the common folk picked up from watching the gluttonous pigs. Because of course the rich could afford to waste and squander, because they had more bedrooms and bathrooms and roofs than they could live under. So they didn't need anything. They didn't want for anything. So they had to contrive a want. They had to contrive a way to waste the money. And then the common man, mimics, like the dumb monkey the common man often is, just mimics the behavior. Even though when he does it, he'll do it badly, and he'll compromise. He will spite his own welfare to contrive a purpose. Shoot himself in the war just to demonstrate he can pull a trigger. Really, no sense to it whatsoever. So there, I think I've done my job. Camera's still working. Pond is looking lovely, but there's no ice on it, which is nice. That ice was bugging me. Yeah, don't like seeing that. But winter is here, coming. Yeah, so I'm gonna get used to it. Anyway. Oh dear. Have to have a sit down after that thought. Ooh, dismal. Can't really afford to sit down, but fuck it. Oh, running late. Got weight in my back. Hurting my back. Oh, that's a good poem. Got weight in my pack, it's hurting my back. Dum dum doo 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 da doo. Yeah. It's a country classic I just made up in the toilet. But that's where you write your best country songs. It's while you're taking a big fat